Welcome back to Fujitsu Motorsport NZ as we continue with the first Windows and Doors series from Pukekohe. Now it's time to check out the Firestone Super 6s and the HQs. Your commentator is Jamie McCarthy.
The iconic Aussie Sixers are out in force for the Thunder in the Park meeting at Pukekohe. It's the second round of the Firestone HQs and Super Sixes. And we're away with the start for the first race. Super Sixes leading the field away. HQ starting in behind the Commodores and Falcons, 3 wide down into the first turn. Car 69, Dec06. It's the early race leader as this field files their way through the S's on lap number 1. And leading the HQs is the 90, the Kirk Stoneman. Ken's Bins HQ, there he is in shot there just on the back of the tail enders of the Super Sixes. Huge numbers for the HQs. Century Batteries car there just dropping a wheel off down onto the back straight. Dec06 with the race lead. Keep an eye out for the current North Island champion, Shane Wenslick. Racing out of Thames. It's Dec06 leading the way in the Harada Auto Spares. VN Commodore. Firestone Super Sixes. Round 2 of the North Island Championships. We got one going off. Into the gravel off the end of the back straight. Couldn't quite see who the race number was there. So one of the HQs already off early on lap number 1. Down to the line at the end of lap number 1. It's still Styles with the lead, chased by the 4 of Peter Ryan from Martin. Here's our first glimpse of Shane Wenslick back there in the 4th position. Chasing down the 44 of Ross Farley from Wanganui in one of the Falcons. Classic Ford versus Holden battle. The series originated in Australia. As you would expect with the cars coming out of Oz, very, very popular. And another HQ going off, that's into the S's. Field filing through. Here's a pass for the lead. Peter Ryan trying to go down the inside. Battle for second and third. Wenslick down the inside of Farley. And Wenslick may even pick up the lead out of this pass. Under brakes into the hairpin, and Shane Wenslick is now the race leader. So good close racing. You can see them fanning out of the hairpin. 4 of Peter Ryan trying to come back as Wenslick just he made a little mistake. No, in fact, it's yellows. So Wenslick acknowledging the yellows. And a safety car has been dispatched. So a couple of incidents early on in this race. There's the 24. Steve Rennie from Mountain Maunganui. That's the reason for the safety car. Back down to the restart. Away they go. Ryan with a flyer. 28 into the 2nd spot. Stephen Benenbrook from Pukekohe, and we've got the 44 going around Ross Farley. Shannon Coker there trailing a rear bumper in the number 50 car out of Hamilton. It's Farley trying to get straightened up. A couple of the HQs taking off track. That's the 26, Murray Crooks from the Manawatu. Well, it's really been all on in the early laps for the Firestone Super 6s and HQs. Battle up front. 28 of Stephen Benenbrook. Race leader just trailing something down underneath the car. That may be the exhaust system. Gets a little bit sideways out of the hairpin. Wenslick now back into 2nd. Ryan 3rd. Cars working their way up over the hill. Watch them move around. One of the fastest points of the track. First 2 cars starting to get a little bit of a breakout now from the 4 of Peter Ryan. Back there in 4th, like the Hell Pizza, number 6 of Rich Benjamin. Another one of the Taranaki drivers out of Harada. Back to the HQs. Oh, big moment there for Kirk Stoneman. And the 13 of Brian Matthews disputing territory down into 1. That's the 2. Jake Stoneman getting sideways onto the back straight. That cost him some momentum. And the leading HQs are already in amongst the tail enders in the Super Sixes. Battle for the lead out front with the Firestone Super Sixes. Second round of the North Island Championship. Stephen Benenbrook, current North Island champs, Shane Wenslick. See that gap back to Peter Ryan in 4th. Sorry, 3rd. Shannon Coker up inside the top 4 as well. And more problems here. It looks like another safety car has been dispatched, so they really haven't had a good crack at this one. And there's the problem. Car number 62, another one of the HQs, Martin Newman Hall from Wellington, bringing out the safety car. And that was Benenbrook going off into the pit lane. I think he may have got a drive-through. Checkered flag, the race has been declared. So for the Super Sixes, Shane Wenslick with the win from Peter Ryan, Shannon Coker 3rd, David Dovey 4th. And for the HQs, Mike Annette taking out the win in that one from Brian Matthews, Jake Stoneman with Murray Crooks 4th. Shane, winner of race 2 for the HQs and Super Sixes. Bizarre old race, more yellows than race laps.
Yeah, it was. It was a bit of a non-eventful race really in the end, especially the way it finished, but that's the way it goes. Sometimes you seem to have ones like that, but certainly rather win it properly, you know, but that's the way it is.
You got that opportunity in race 3, of course. You finished 2nd in the first race. You got a battle going with the 28 for the weekend?
Yeah, certainly have. Yeah, we had a good battle yesterday, and yeah, taking the win today will put me in a good position for the last one. So yeah, we'll hopefully not too many safety car periods, and we'll have a good race.
Shannon, a fine 3rd place in the Super Sixes race too, but you got a little bit of damage on the back of the car. Tell us what happened.
Dave Davies spun out. I thought I'd shoot through the gap, and I clipped him as I was coming through. Got out of okay, but a bit of damage.
Are we still on the podium for the second race though?
Absolutely, it was a fantastic race.
Jake, you won the first race yesterday. You finished 3rd today. Hard to get momentum going with all the yellows in race 2?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I got a pretty good start on that one. I started 9th and then come through, got up to the 3rd reasonably quickly. But yeah, when the safety cars come out, it's pretty hard to get going again.
You got a good battle going with Mike Annette this weekend. You both start off the front row. What lies in store for race 3?
Yeah, well, anybody knows, you know, it's going to be all on, that's for sure.
Looking for a good battle between yourself and the 1 and Jake Stoneman?
Yeah. It's good driving against those guys because, you know, you can trust them next to you, you know. These cars, they're pretty hairy around that sweep, as you've probably seen. And it doesn't take much of a tap to knock you off. So it's good when you're racing against guys that you can trust close.
Welcome back. I'm Clint Brown and you're watching Fujitsu Motorsport NZ, and it's time to head back to Puke now with the Super Sixes and the HQs.
Welcome back to Pukekohe, the Thunder in the Park meeting. Round 2 of the North Island Super Sixes and the North Island and National Firestone HQs. Grid lining up. Shane Wenslick off the pole in the Firestone Super Sixes. And Mike Annette off the pole in the HQs. 8 laps. Shane Wenslick with the early lead through the S's. Shannon Coker in 2nd in the 50. Stephen Benenbrook in 3rd. Try and pick up the leader for you in the HQs. It's Jake Stoneman in the 2. Already in amongst it with the Firestone Super Sixes. Big fields of HQs again, numbering in the 20s. As ever, a very, very strong class in New Zealand motorsport. Firestone Super Sixes, their numbers are surely building up. Very strong class in the South Island. The numbers are gaining every meeting in the North Island. And for the first time this year, there will be a New Zealand Firestone Super 6 Championship. South Islanders coming up to face the North Islanders at Manfield for the first round. So Shane Wenslick looking for his second win for the weekend. Shannon Coker, the youngster, now back there in third. Stephen Benenbrook second, chasing down Shane Wenslick. And we're going to car off into the fence. A big moment there for the 40 of Bronson Porter from Hamilton. The rest of the field slowing up, acknowledging the yellows as Porter amazingly comes back out on track. After a huge hit into the fence up over the top of the hill. Well, the Holden Haven parts boys might be a little bit busy after that. The right rear heavily damaged on that car. Thankfully, it hasn't brought out the safety car. Certainly the first race that we've seen today, with lots of interruptions from the safety car. Stephen Benenbrook with the grill insert flapping around in the front of the 28, trying the crossover out of the hairpin. Wenslick's got the inside line to the sweeping left, up towards Ford Mountain. It's a pair of Holdens side by side. This is going to give Benenbrook the inside line. Side by side, they touch up over the hill. Benenbrook out of shape, gathers it back up, runs down the grass on the inside of the track. So a huge battle up in front for the Firestone Super Sixes. And here's the battle for the Firestone HQs. Jake Stoneman's got shuffled back to third. It's Kirk Stoneman, Jake's dad, leading at the moment. The Cairns Bins, number 90. Mike Annett second. Stoneman third. Then we go back to the 13 of Brian Matthews. And these four really haven't been separated by much all through the weekend. Kirk Stoneman starting off grid 3 for the Firestone HQs. He's one of a handful of drivers that was penalised in that second race, interrupted by safety cars for some yellow flag infringements, but he's right back in the mix at the head of the field for the Firestone HQs. Jake Stoneman getting out of shape into one. This is entertaining stuff from the HQs, and an even better battle up in front with the Firestone Super Sixes. It's the HQs that we're concentrating on at the moment. Brian Matthews still back there in fourth. And here's this battle for the HQs. One of the Super Sixes in and amongst that battle as well. Mike Annett, Jake Stoneman splitting. Kirk Stoneman under brakes down into the hairpin. Jake Stoneman pulls out of the manoeuvre. Kirk Stoneman, a bit of a fender rub there with Matthews. As again, one of the Super Sixes gets out of shape in front of this scintillating HQ battle. Kirk Stoneman continues to lead. Current New Zealand Firestone HQ champion Mike Annett second. Jake Stoneman third. The car's moving around over the hill. Stoneman with a big moment, a big slide up over the top of Ford Mountain. Not too many Fords in this battle right here, obviously, with the HQs, but it is entertaining stuff. Jake Stoneman down the inside of his father. Look at the axle track from Jake Stoneman. He's really on the limit. In the Cairns Bins, number 2. So it's 1 leading 2. Mike Annett with the lead. Just dropped Kirk Stoneman off the back of that battle, and Kirk Stoneman down the inside. Jake Stoneman on the outside of Annett, down into the hairpin. Late braking duel. Annett holds on to it. Jake Stoneman second. Kirk Stoneman holding on to third, surviving a charge there from Brian Matthews. Next HQ through shot. This will be the 66 of Peter Grant. Reaction screen for an HQ. Kirk Stoneman again all over the racetrack. He's gone up the inside of Mike Annett, up over the top of Ford Mountain. And he's got the race lead for now, but Kirk Stoneman and Brian Matthews right back in the picture. Four-way battle for the lead in the Firestone HQs. As Annett locks up a brake. Kirk Stoneman right on his back bumper. Mike Annett and the Pukekohe panel beaters HQ. Back up front to the Firestone Super Sixes. Shane Wenslick has extended that lead. Fair amount of clean air behind him as the 25 coming back on track, one of the HQs. It's Jonathan Cooey from Fielding. Stephen Benenbrook still in the second position. Firestone Super Sixes, the Cooey boys have had a busy day, rebuilding the front end of one of their team HQs. So Shane Wenslick with the lead, currently lapping in the 1 minute 10 second range, the fastest of the HQs in the 16s. That's Kirk Stoneman. So about a 6 second time difference between the newer Firestone Super 6s and the HQs around Pukekohe. Shane Wenslick racing out of Thames. Castrol, Wenslick Automotive, VN Commodore. Puts another lap in the books. Big gap back to Stephen Benenbrook. Shannon Coker still in third. David Dovey fourth. On board here with the 44. This is Ross Farley from Wanganui. Farley at the moment back in the 5th position. David Dovey just up ahead. Back to this HQ battle though, and it's now a 5-car battle. No, it's not. It's one of the Super 6s just off the back of those 4 leading HQs. The rest of the field filing through. Shane Wenslick now in heavy traffic. He's got the tail enders of the HQs. Kirk Stoneman chasing down his son, Jake, and Mike Annette going to the outside, down into 1. Don't know that you could call this a drafting battle because the HQs aren't the world's most aerodynamic device, but they're certainly having fun with it. Battle's further back, and you can see some of the differing lines from the HQs. And here's our overall race leader, and leading the Firestone Super 6s, just having a bit of a pause there behind one of the HQs getting out of shape in front of him. That's the 5 of Barry Parker out of Palmerston North. Wenslick goes down the inside. Jake Stoneman still holding off Mike Annette. That's the battle for the lead in the Firestone HQs. Car 47. In the Super 6s, that's Leo Van Berkel from the Hawke's Bay. So they've come from all over the North Island. Jake Stoneman continues to lead the HQs. One of the cars there just trailing a little bit of fluid. And there's the Super 6 leader right in amongst it with the HQs. A good 6 or 7 seconds a lap quicker than the guys around him at the moment. Shane Wenslick in the Castrol, number 17 VN Commodore. Up over the top of Ford Mountain, down onto the front straight at Pukekohe. Shane Wenslick down to the line. He will take the win. Final race of the weekend for the Firestone Super 6s. Waiting for this fantastic battle with the HQs to come down. It's a 4-way battle. Here they are out of the hairpin. Kirk Stoneman back there in third. Still working on Mike Annette, who's working on Jake Stoneman for the lead. Brian Matthews just on the back of that group. Jake Stoneman up over the top of Ford Mountain in the Cairns bins. Number 2, can he hold on down to the line? Annette trying to get a run. Pulls out of the draft, but it's going to be Jake Stoneman for the win in the Firestone HQs. So the Firestone Super 6s, that race taken out by Shane Wenslick ahead of Stephen Benenbrook, Shannon Coker 3rd, David Dovey 4th, Ross Farley 5th. Rounding out the top 6, Sean Elder. And in the Firestone HQs, Jake Stoneman taking the win ahead of Mike Annette, Kirk Stoneman, Brian Matthews and Curtis Bolt.
Jake, fantastic race. Took out the victory in race number 3, but what a battle between yourself, Mike, and your dad, Kirk.
Yeah, that was excellent. That one definitely gets the blood pumping, that one for sure. We were going for it.
For the championship, you have the championship lead now after Pukekohe?
Yeah, I do, yep. I'm not too sure what the points are, but yeah, I'm in the lead in the championship now.
Mike, some fantastic racing in the HQs. That looked like a lot of fun between yourself, Jake, and Kirk Stoneman.
It was all on, mate. It was a fantastic race. Jake got the jump at the start, but I managed to get them back, and then we had that little crash in the middle, but Jake just outdrove me out of the hairpin, got the lead, and but there was nothing in it. It was a 3-way battle the whole way. It was great. Excellent racing.
And you've been racing these cars for quite a few years. You still enjoying your racing?
I am. This is actually my 30th year coming here, and the old HQs are still fun. We've raced a lot of stuff, but this is good. Not a lot of cost, and you get just as big a buzz,
And there's still a lot of cars around. What sort of numbers are you getting regularly at meetings now?
At Manfield we're at 23, and we've got 21 here, which is a really good field. They dwindle for a while, and then they're coming back again. So it's got a very good class, and it's a good learning curve for everybody. They've got to have us old fellas up there to aim at. The young guys got to have someone to aim at. Wonder why we still go quick and should be playing bowls, but never mind.
And what about the battle between father and son? Jake's got the last laugh this weekend?
Yeah, well, he's with the penalty that I copped, it put me back. Otherwise, Jake and I probably would have been on the front row, which would have been interesting. He's doing the whole championship, I'm not, and I would have helped him anyway, but he beat me fair and square.
Shane, congratulations, your second victory of the weekend, and some great battles up the front of the Super Sixes.
Yeah, no, it was a good race, that one. Pretty hard fought the whole way through, really. I sort of just had to drive as quick as I could, and held Steve off in the end, so it was good fun.
Fantastic battle with Shane overall.
Oh, me and Shane, mate, we just love it, eh? It's just what this class is all about. Nice, close, tight racing, and it's safe, We had a touch, but, you get that.
So after 2 rounds of the Firestone Super 6 North Island Championship, David Dovey continues to lead on 324 points from Sean Elder second on 272. Reg Benjamin third on 264. Onto the Firestone HQs, Jake Stoneman with the championship lead from Mike Annette. Casey Wilton third, Murray Crooks fourth on 163 points.
Great stuff there from one of the stalwart classes of New Zealand motorsport. Right, it's time now to